I'm going to show you what a technical coach actually does in practice. While you're coding, you make hundreds of tiny decisions all the time. What code to change, what tests to run, what tools to use. As a technical coach, I'm trying to influence those decisions and help you to build better habits. In this video, I'm going to show highlights from a coaching session where I'm working with Jose, a game developer based in Denmark. I'm going to give you some insights into what I'm doing, how I'm coaching, what I'm thinking as the session progresses. Hi, I'm Emily Bache. I'm a software developer and a technical coach. Welcome to my channel. If you like this content, please subscribe and like. I haven't met Jose before, and at the start of the session, I'm trying to make a good connection before we start the coaching.
So I'm Jose Ergala. My pronouns are they, them. I'm in the video game industry for 2 years now.
Right, so you've got a job, you're working as a video game developer.
Yes. I feel like I need coaching in software design and refactoring.
So you just kind of improve your skills, I guess.
Yeah. That is exactly.
Yeah, so I'm based in Sweden, not so far away.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I think I asked you to bring a code kata today. So which one did you choose?
I chose tennis. When I asked you for recommendations, you said that too, and I was like, okay, so we are going with tennis.
The coaching session starts with Jose reading the code, looking for something to refactor. And they actually don't really need much help from me to work out where to start. The first thing they spot is the 1 point method, but they quickly realise that wouldn't be quite such a good starting point.
Here is some code duplicity. I mean, we don't need to have an if-else structure to differentiate it between players, but maybe strings should be a class per se.
Oh, a class. Okay, like a player class. Yeah.
Yes, because this code duplicity here is not. Well, yeah, or this can be renamed to team 1 or team 2 because there are 2 players per team. But yeah, I think instead of player name, let's say a class of players.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I think you've just decided that you want to change something. Are you going to do that now, or are you going to keep looking? What's your strategy?
I think I'm going to keep looking because this can be a pretty big change. So I want to continue looking.
Okay. I think that was a good decision. They haven't even scanned through the whole class yet. As a coach, I'm not doing much more than just encouraging them to continue. The next part that Jose finds looks more promising. They spotted the GetScore method and that it has several sections that could be pulled out.
So yeah, I think this can be extracted to a method, let's say.
Okay. Yeah. Are you going to do that now, or are you going to keep looking?
I'm going to do that right now, yes.
Okay, so just to unpack that, why did you decide to do this one now and not the other one?
Because the other one is a pretty big change in my mind, maybe not. And this extract method can be done quicker.
Yeah, quicker and usually quite safely, because you've got tools that will help you. So carry on.
Okay. So I'm going to extract, no, not that much. I'm extracting the methods to a method is code compute by score.
Result equals compute tie score. Cool. You've got a new function, computes tie score, and I just wanted to compliment you for using your expand selection and your refactoring tools for doing the refactoring. That was good use of your tools. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. I actually learned these expands and so on with the video that you that you had.
Excellent. I like to hear this. Okay, so what's your next move with the refactoring? Jose continues reading the code and spots a couple more paragraphs that they extract in the same way. GetScore is starting to look much better. So what are you thinking now when you're looking at this code?
It's much more clear. Yes. But I did a mistake. I didn't run the tests, although it was a very safe refactoring, but I didn't run the tests.
It's a very good idea to run the tests. Jose has some excellent suggestions here about what to do next. First, they want to run the tests, and when they pass, suggest making a commit. So far, Jose has been doing this refactoring in an exemplary manner, and I haven't had much to add. This is a happy situation to be in as a coach. But I admit at this point I was hoping I could bring something new. And the opportunity to do so came up with the commit message. So this is a perfectly good commit message. I'm just wondering, have you heard of Arlo's commit notation?
No.
I mean, it's completely optional to use, but the idea with it is that you write your commit message with a little prefix that gives an indication of what kind of thing the commit contains and whether it's high risk or low risk of containing bugs. So you've prefixed your message already with refactor : So in Arlo's commit notation, that would just be an R for refactor. Basically, if it's a small r, then it's a low risk. You've used the tool. So a small r refactor is lower risk than a big R refactor. I think that's the best idea. Instead of writing refactor : just write R. And then you might just, if you were working with other people in the same repository, just warn them that, by the way, R means refactor. And then when you're looking through a list of commits, you can kind of see, oh, these are all really safe refactorings. This one was a less safe refactoring. And if you've got a bug, then you'll look at those ones first.
I understand. Okay.
I mean, looking back on this now, I'm thinking we should probably have made a commit after each of those 3 extract method refactorings. My preference is for very fine-grained commits when I'm refactoring, and usually pretty short messages, just R extract method. We're going to make more commits later in the session like that. Next, Jose spends more time reading the code, looking for the next refactoring target.
Yeah, here is another thing about creating a class, let's say, because it's like repeated code again.
Right, you've got some duplication here, yeah.
Okay, so maybe let's go with create a class, or what do you think?
So explain more about you want to create a class?
Yes, because already at the very beginning we saw this. That depends on the string of the player name. It adds the GetScore to one, just to the entity one or the second one.
Right, so you're kind of suspecting there's a class hiding in here somewhere.
Yes.
Possibly the first step, rather than extracting a class straight away, is just to create a method. When you've got a paragraph of duplicated code like this, if you could just create a method that you could call in both places, and then you might discover that you could move that method to your new class maybe later. But I think the first step is probably a method.
Okay.
Jose can't think of a good name for the new method, so it gets a nonsense name. And I'd have called it applesauce, which is also obvious nonsense, but that wasn't so important to fix here. What I was more concerned about was how to safely get to be able to reuse this method in more than one place.
This depends on the class attribute. Here, as a parameter, enter the score that we want to compute. Let's say.
Yep.
Okay.
So I think the refactoring you want is introduce parameter.
Yes, we did extract method, and now I want to introduce parameter. Yes.
Is that one that your tool supports? Introduce parameter.
Oh, okay. Let's see.
Oh, nice.
It seems so.
Yeah. So I can see some little previews here. It's a little bit hard to interpret. I would do it because I can't quite tell what it's going to do. And I know that Control-Z will bring me back very easily.
Yes, okay. Let's say that this is core, because, yeah, okay.
Okay. So that now looks like it did introduce parameter. And it's introduced a get method, get player one score. Calling that. Okay. I didn't really expect it to do that. It's kind of encapsulated your field as well. What do you think of that? Is that a good change?
Not really, because I would like here instead of here the tool should be I mean we can do now an inline of this getter maybe.
Yeah, so that might have been one of the things we could configure when it was showing us the preview. I'm not sure that I really understood the tool's suggestions, but I think you're right. We might want to inline that. So you've got a refactoring for that?
Okay, I think so.
Ah, interesting.
It seems not. Okay.
It's not suggesting to inline it. What if you put the cursor on the call site there and try it again? Inline.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
Yeah, yes.
So sometimes it's very sensitive to where you put the cursor. Okay, that looks like more like what you wanted. That was a good result. We discovered tool support for both introduce parameter and inline method. I'm going to skip over the next bit. We ran the tests, made another commit. Again, small r, since everything we did was tool supported, safe refactoring. In the next part of the session, I'm going to walk Jose through the steps to remove the duplicated code that does the same as the new method. I've actually got a demo of this already in my guided learning hour on extract method. But in this case, I'm being the coach. I'm navigating somebody else through these steps of this code change. I'm effectively writing code without ever touching the keyboard, just explaining really clearly to Jose how to do it. Doesn't go quite as smoothly with Jose's tools as it does with my own, though. Okay, so we've still got some code duplication. How are we going to deal with this?
So I think here calling the same method as on the top, but with changing the parameter.
I think you're right. I think that's would work, and you could do that by hand to do it. But I was just going to show you, if you do another extract method here and call it GetScore name 2.
Same method, right?
Yeah. And then do the same thing and introduce the parameter for the thing that you think is for this one. Yeah, did the same thing again with the getter.
And now
we can inline that.
Yes.
So now you've got two lines, two little methods that you think are exactly the same apart from. So now you can actually check that. I don't know how you do it in Visual Studio, but if you copy one of them into the clipboard and then highlight the other one, I'd be looking on the menus for compare with clipboard. I think it might be a plugin that you need. So basically, I want to diff these two methods and see if they really are identical. Apart from, I mean, the name of them is always going to be different because you can't have two methods with the same name. But the basic idea is that they should be identical. And I mean, I can look at them here and see that they are. But having a little tool that confirms that, and there's no stray comma or something. So basically, I feel fairly confident now to replace all the calls to GetScore name 2 with just GetScore name, because I think those two functions are identical. And sometimes when you're refactoring, it's you need to take that much care to actually do the diff. So now on line 44, if you just edit that to call the GetScore name instead of GetScore name 2.
Okay.
At this point, you're like, those two methods are identical apart from the name. I'll run the tests.
All right. Oops.
Oh, I think you made a typo.
Ah, right. Yes,
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
That seemed to work.
Okay.
And now it should be warning you actually that this one's not being used. Is that what the warning says?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Show potential fixes. And you can just remove it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So commits.
Yes.
Let's save. I did a little change by hand, removing the two.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. You know, pretty careful, but I would still put a big R here.
okay. Hmm.
Is it easy for you to look at the diff at this point? Because that will show you
Wait.
what you did. And you can summarize it.
Yeah. Exact methods.
I don't think you've...
No, I'm not. No, sorry.
So
I
you've
don't know.
removed the duplication now.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so that
Mhm.
code is gone, that
Yes.
on the left, and it's been replaced with a call to your new method. So just remove the duplication.
Okay.
Cool. So this is looking good. Great. So we got there in the end. The refactoring is completed and committed with a descriptive comment. So what's next? Jose doesn't seem to see the same thing that I do. Sometimes as a coach, it's useful to point out what you can see and help the other person to see it too. But just go back to the method you were looking at before, because you may not see it,
Yeah,
but
right.
I think there is more potential here in compute regular score. So what is the variable result doing?
Oh, okay. That is like two variables that are doing the same.
Yeah, so you've kind of got too many variables here
Mm-hmm.
somehow.
Yeah, that's right.
So what do you think you could do about that?
Inline one of them.
Yeah. So it's suggesting you use something there that wasn't inline, but move declaration near reference. Do you see what that's going to do?
I would like for it to inline directly, but I think this is a smaller step.
Yeah, I think it's a smaller step that your tool will do for you that will improve matters. So yeah, that got rid of kind of one of the lines of code that wasn't doing much.
This one?
Yeah, I mean, you can always try it and see if you like what it did. Do you prefer that?
Yeah, I kind of like it because we removed the declaration and we moved we got rid of two lines of code. So that's nice.
So now try that inline thing again that you wanted to do.
Okay. Yeah, it is.
So that looks a little better. Yeah, another inline. So now you've got rid of both result and whatever the other one was called, regular score.
Yes.
Quite simple change, and it improved the readability. After this, Jose and I start working on the second method that they extracted earlier, the one for advantage or win. We continue the refactoring in small steps, using tools, running the tests, making small commits. I'm going to skip over that part. When the time is nearly up, I ask Jose to review what we've done. Tell me what's better about this now.
That here we removed. Now we know what's its case. We compute the tie, or we compute the end game, or we compute during the game. Now, if we go to the computer score, it's like much shorter, and because it's only 3 lines of code, and yeah, we removed the different variables that were there that were duplicated.
Jose can clearly explain what we've done and why the code is better now, in their own words. And that is worth far more than as if I, as a coach, told them what we'd done. I also asked Jose to summarise their takeaways from the session as a whole.
I had like the names in my head, but I didn't relate them to the specific cases. Yeah, that was a great takeaway.
You want to say specifically which names you're going to try and remember now?
Extract variable, inline variable, extract methods.
Introduce
I
parameters.
introduced just yes, that is the parameter.
These are all really useful refactorings, and if you know the names, then it's easier to talk about and remember that they exist. As well as talking about the new facts and concepts they've learned, I also want Jose to think about the way we've been working. Is there anything that's different about the way we work today than how you normally work?
Today I was committing quite more. Yeah, I think that's the main difference, because I normally don't work with tests, so it was really good to have these safety nets, let's say.
It was, but to be honest, you were refactoring so well, they never failed. When you're doing these refactoring katas, you've got a very good safety net. So if you do mess up, they catch you. But that's a sign that you need to be more careful, basically, because in your real code, you might not have that safety net. It's like the luxury of getting really good feedback. And
yeah, the fast and reliable feedback is quite nice. Yes.
So that's another really great thing to be taking back, that actually smaller steps, more commits, it's a good way of working. I end the coaching session with some encouragement. As software developers, I don't think we get enough of that. Jose's done well, and I think they should hear that. To round it all off, it's been really good to work with you and coach you through this code kata. I do think you're making good use of your tools already, and already had the right instincts, small steps, and I didn't have to prompt you to make a commit very often. So I think that's good, and I hope that when you go back to your normal job, you'll continue, committing often and refactoring in small steps with tools. So.
Okay. Thank you very much, Emily. It was really a pleasure to have you as a coach right now, and yes, and having you there. Yes, it was really nice.
If you're coaching a developer like Jose, I hope this has given you some things to think about. Make a good connection with them, encourage good habits, bring new ideas, and help them to see what you see. I'd also really like to thank Jose for agreeing to have this session with me and for me to publish it here. Happy coding!